Welcome back. Segment number 3 coming right up with Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster here in the Highland Lakes, and Art Dlugach, the voice of the Llano Yellow Jackets. Now, Art, we're going to do a few things a little differently. We're going to talk about more of what's happening on the national level in the sports world. And this one might actually be international. Talking about the PGA Tour and the Is it a real league? The Saudi League, is that for real?
The Saudi Golf League it gets underway this week in London, and it's offering these extravagant purses that are bigger than what the PGA is offering. About 5 or 6 pretty well-known names will be in that tournament, 48-man field, and I'll mention those in a moment. But what the PGA is saying is it's possible if you go over to this league where there are something like 8 tournaments overall, you could risk fines or suspension or being banned from playing in some PGA tournaments. So some of the names that you'll know: Phil Mickelson is the number 2 all-time leading money winner. Tiger Woods is number 1. Tiger's not in this. Dustin Johnson, 2-time major champion. Sergio Garcia, married to someone we know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Angela Akins. 2004 Marble Falls High School graduate.
Yes.
I don't know her, just know of her. She graduated before I returned.
And her dad, a fine golfer, not professional, but has made something like 10 or 11 holes in one. So you've got Garcia, Johnson, and Mickelson are 3 of the more famous names. Louis Oosthuizen is a British Open champion. He will be in this inaugural tournament, and so it will be interesting to see how this plays out vis-a-vis the PGA reaction to these men going to play for the Saudi League. I have written a commentary that'll be in the Horseshoe Bay Beacon on Thursday, saying that it certainly seems to me, even though the money is big, these men have won gargantuan amounts of money, and I don't think they need the money. Also, the Saudis are being ridiculed and criticized greatly for inhumanitarian rights. So those are some of the basic platforms that you've got that are going on in golf this week.
I don't know that I have an opinion on any of this stuff because I haven't done enough research like you have. Here's the one thing I would say, though. It'll be very interesting to see how these players balance out what the PGA is saying. Because if the Saudi League becomes big enough, they'll keep adding tournaments. And if the money is good, most people are going to go where the money goes. That's human nature, at least the human nature I've observed. Anyway, most people will go where the money is. If there's good money to be made, that's where they're going to head. I'll be interested to see how the PGA reacts, because one way is to increase the purse. If you can make more money, because these players will go where the money is, then they'll stay on the PGA Tour.
My thought was that they've won a ton of money. They really don't need it. Also, they could be banned, it's conceivable, from the 4 majors: PGA Championship, the US Open, the Masters, and I don't know what the British Open will do. The U.S. is not in charge of that. So that's where it hangs right now.
And then it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Okay, last week, Art and I talked about the fact that we had a chance to interview Texas Tech head football coach Joey McGuire 2 weeks ago. Last week we said we were going to talk about him this week. So, Art, if you're ready, we can talk about Coach McGuire here and give our thoughts about him. For those of you who don't know, Coach McGuire is one of two coaches on the new Dave Campbell's Texas football cover that was revealed this week. He, along with one of my favorites, Jeff Traylor, who is the head coach at UTSA.
Yes.
And the reason that the two of them were chosen is because both of them made their names and their reputation coaching high school football before they got the head coaching jobs at their universities. So I wanted to get some thoughts about you with McGuire. Do you have any thoughts about McGuire and what he said?
I've got great thoughts. We got to see him speak at the Rudy Davalos Horseshoe Bay Sports Club meeting of a couple of weeks ago, and he was just outstanding. As I wrote in my story, it was like being in a locker room almost. Also, talking about his high school prowess, 3 state titles at Cedar Hill. So he was there from 2003 to 2016, then from 17 to 21 at Baylor. And, Baylor winds up winning the Big 12 championship and winning the Sugar Bowl. So he had a great career there, and then got his first head coaching job for college at Texas Tech. And it sure sounds like they've got a real good one. My whole story were what some people would call cliches. I don't. I think they were a lot of enthusiastic comments that he delivers to his players that I think are really going to pay off.
No, I agree with you. And I'll tell you exactly what I said to Coach McGuire when we had a chance to interview him. The first thing I told him was, the high school coaches have told me that McGuire is going to lock down recruiting in the state of Texas. And after listening to him, I understood why. And that was very uncomfortable for me as a Texas fan, because
we're back to Texas again.
I'm just saying to you, I'm somebody who very much believes that there's only 5 legitimate, maybe only as an absolute, there might be a handful of high school athletes who graduate and play on the next level, especially in football every year, that are legitimate NFL stars. That you say to yourself, this kid is going to go play in the NFL. Okay, so if one program gets all 5 of those kids in one signing cycle, that's a great advantage to that roster. And listening to McGuire, I understood exactly why. There has not been one high school football coach I've talked to about Joey McGuire who has said anything bad about him. Not one. Not in Marble Falls, not in Barnett, not in any other part of the Highland Lakes. Not one.
The former Baylor head coach Matt Rule, now with the Carolina Panthers, said about Coach McGuire, the biggest winners of all will be his players. A couple of his lines that Jennifer and I both heard: there's never a time concerning how hard we're playing, extremely hard. There's no give up. Be willing to make sacrifices. It's tough to be a Red Raider, extremely demanding.
Yeah, and the thing that really concerned me the most, I should say the thing, number 2 on the list, was when he said to the Texas Tech individuals in the room that day, he said that you will never question if we are playing hard or not. You will be extremely proud of what you see on the field every time you see us play. And I will tell you, I heard another coach say that who helped with that program and turned that program back into a national championship level program. And that was when Jim Tressel was hired to take over at Ohio State. And he said, quote, "You will be very, very happy with us when we play Michigan." and he had a winning record against the Wolverines.
Steve Crosby, a Davilo Sports Club member, spent 33 years as an assistant in the NFL, and he said about Coach McGuire, this guy is special. He said, full speed ahead, he's terrific. So I think you'll find that, especially if you go to the Texas Tech football website, there's just a list of Hall of Famers talking about Coach McGuire. And he looks like a coach, I say. Looks like, as I said, looks like a Marine sergeant.
Okay, because I was going to say, what do you mean? Most coaches I talk to look like coaches. You know, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I look forward to seeing what the Big 12 looks like with Coach McGuire in Lubbock, Texas. I look forward to seeing, because right now you've got some outstanding coaches. I'm not even sure now who would be the Big 12 football coaches are a lot different today than when the league started. I don't even know who the veteran is now anymore.
Well,
who would that be? Would that be the dude at Oklahoma State now?
Gundy.
Yeah, I think he
Gundy
might be the granddaddy of the entire coaching league over there.
We've lost Lincoln Riley and his quarterback Caleb Williams, so those were two good ones for sure.
Okay. Anything else you want to say? We'll close this one out.
I think it's just been an interesting venture of ours into college sports, and I hope we can do more with that, and we will certainly as September approaches.
And if you miss your high school sports news from the Highland Lakes, I have that on TexasChalkTalk.com. Please feel free to go there and check out anything and everything you want regarding the June leagues that are being played throughout your favorite sport, and there are plenty of them. For Art Dlugach, I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster here in the Highland Lakes. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel. It would certainly mean so much to us. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.